So today we are going to talk about Three Eye Atlas. These are just my honest thoughts, just intuitively connecting to what Three Eye Atlas represents for us, why it's here right now during this time. So the first thing that has come through is this entity, this being, this presence. I think the best way to think of it is it's a presence. Having it enter our solar system, and obviously we don't know right now what's going to happen. We don't know what it's going to do. If you watch Stefan Burns' channel, he talks about it having a trajectory towards Jupiter and perhaps going and inhabiting one of the moons of Jupiter. So we don't know. Obviously, until that happens, we don't know. But connecting to the energy of Three Eye Atlas, I see this, I sense this green light. And it's almost as if I can see the craft. And I see it surrounded by green light. And this makes me automatically think of the heart center. It feels as though it is here to help us connect galactically through the portal of our heart. And the reason why this makes sense, and this is something that I started intuitively feeling last year, is that our heart, it produces the largest electromagnetic field in our body, and everything runs on magnetism essentially. This planet, all the planets, everything has its own electromagnetic field. And so if we're speaking on galactic terms, we think of galactic interaction and understanding on this very scientific level for the most part. We think of teleportation, we think of wormholes, we think of all of these components that make up space, the galaxy, the cosmos, right? But what is the underlying aspect of all of that? It's electromagnetism. And so if you start to understand the heart through this lens, it makes sense that this is how many of us are going to actually be connecting to all the things that essentially inhabit all of the solar systems and beyond. And if you're watching this and you're a starseed, it is going to be your individual journey, how you are connecting, whether that is connecting to your star family, connecting to the other galactic versions of you, whatever it is. This is your personal journey, and Three Eye Atlas is here as an initiatory signature. If you think about it, this is the first time that something like this has happened. So it is significant, but it is not significant in the way that we've all been, conditioned to think of extraterrestrial visitors. So again, this is a presence. Three Eye Atlas is a presence. So it is very much this initiatory energy, and it is part of the metamorphosis that we are going through. If you follow the astrology, especially the way it's unfolding in terms of being more aware of the larger scope of astrological objects, the asteroids, the dwarf planets, we are in this metamorphosis where we are also understanding astrology on different levels, on more expansive levels. And of course, we're moving beyond the limitation of just understanding it through archetypes. Yes, the archetypes, they symbolize us, you know, patterns of our psyche, how we behave, but it's also moving beyond that because that's through the human lens. So we are coming into greater understanding of all of these languages, essentially. So it is this initiatory presence, and connecting through your heart center is going to be a really beautiful, and neutral is not the right word, but it's almost like this benevolent neutrality. Because, when we talk about love, we oftentimes think in terms of the human sense of love, but there's so many other, there's so many greater states of love. So expanding beyond that, and the energy I feel from this presence is really this really beautiful, very grounded, heart-centered, not even heart-centered, because Three-Eye Atlas is not really, it feels greater than that in terms of this heart-centeredness, but it is directly connecting to our heart center, if that makes sense. When you are connecting through your heart space, you don't need to worry about, picking up on any negative energy, because your heart can only recognize purity, whereas your mind is very easily deceived. So what has also come through, the message that also came through, is this is connecting us to the higher galactic heart. Now, I don't really know what that means. Yes, I can try to think of it in terms of just those words, but it feels like something greater that will be revealed with time. So right now, I don't have a definitive interpretation of that, but the words high galactic heart have come through, and I sense that Three-Eye Atlas's entrance into our solar system, it's something to do with the higher galactic heart. Now, this could be an energetic field that exists in relation to the galaxy at large. I really don't know. So I would be curious to see if anything else comes out around that. So, and it's not a term I've heard before. So if that resonates, allow yourself to explore that intuitively, because this is all about intuition. And also what came through is the heart's intuition. This is heart-based intuition. This is not, we think of intuition, we think of the third eye. Yes, that's all well and good. That's actually where clairvoyance comes from. But there are different types of psychic capacity. So we are talking about intuition from the heart. And this is something that I think I also picked up on last year. I was channeling something around heart-based intuition and heart-based intelligence and heart-based connection, essentially. But it's not from this human lens of having a heart-to-heart with someone. Yes, that's all well and good, but that's the base level. That's the very basic level. We are talking about the higher intelligence of the heart. So again, take what you will from this. This is your journey. This is for you to explore. This is what Three-Eye Atlas is also initiating us into individually. And considering we are coming into the cross of the sleeping phoenix in 2027, this feels very precursory to that, because the energy of the cross of the sleeping phoenix is all about authenticity. It's about everyone coming into their authentic self. So everyone is going to really be like strongly initiated into intuitive discovery of all things, because the barriers are being completely broken down. And it's really coming out of this logic of the mind. And now it's also making me think of why so many people have been exploring psychedelics to such a degree. Now, they've been present throughout history, but we cannot deny the wave of people wanting to explore psychedelics, and there very much is that heart connection. So it is not about thinking through the logical mind. We've done that. We have explored that to exhaustion. We are now exploring through the heart. And if you know anything about how the heart functions, the heart is constantly communicating to the brain, and the heart is actually communicating to the brain far more than the brain is communicating to the heart. I could be wrong, but I believe that's the research when it comes to brain and heart coherence, which is also what we're stepping into. We are allowing the heart to lead the mind in the way it is signaling in its natural own resonance. So I know it's a lot, but if you resonate with it, you resonate with it. You know, it's part of so much. There's people who are coming into their starseed aspects more and more. There are people that are awakening to more of the galactic awareness. Wherever you fall on that, you know, it is very much about understanding that all of this is a tapestry, right? It's not a linear thing. So the linear models, of course, they've been falling away for some time, but as we come into the cross of the sleeping phoenix, the linear models will be very much so outdated. It will be optional. That's what I'm hearing. The linear models will be optional. They will be there if we want to use them, but they will no longer be the primary way that we are choosing to structure things. So we will see, you know, time will tell what this timeline is with 3i Atlas, but I have only felt benevolent energy from it. And so I encourage you to connect by yourself, you know, whenever you feel like you want to. Just connect with it and see what comes through for you, and see what messages you pick up for yourself. But yes, this is what I wanted to communicate with 3i Atlas, because I felt it very strongly the past few days. And yeah, I think it is really here to help all of us. So yeah.